Good morning and welcome to Kilkenny College Chapel. Welcome to our school assembly for this, the final week of January 2021. Already we've come to the end of the first month and it feels as strange as ever not to be seeing students and teachers and SNAs and people milling around the school and making their presence felt. And it does take getting used to. As you can see, we're gathered here again in the chapel and we have our flowers to brighten up our lives, and as Mr. Tide says, we can never have enough candles, so we have candles as well to keep us warm and to provide a little light. Today is World International Holocaust Remembrance Day, and it's a strange kind of a thing to be remembering as we're going through our own pandemic and difficult times. But I think it's a good thing to remind ourselves that our world has survived even greater pandemics and greater tragedies. And what we are going through at the moment, while it is horrific, it is frustrating, it is scary, it is all of those things, but I have no doubt it will pass. So we thank God today for our health, for our families, for the people that we love, but we also remember the 6 million Jews who died as a result of the Holocaust and 11 million others. So when you put that into perspective, what's happening in the world at the moment, while it is tragic, it's quite small. And hopefully it'll remain that way. There's a lot of things on my mind today, and I heard on the news last night that Cara O'Sullivan, the Irish soprano, had died, and I love listening to Marty Whelan in the morning, and he often had her on for interviews, and she was a bright and bubbly, vivacious, talented, beautiful woman, beautiful singer. And I just started thinking of all our singing teachers and all the musicians and performers who, in many ways, their lives are suspended at the moment. And it is a really, really challenging time. So our thoughts are with you today also. Susie Diamond and Tommy Reichenthal are the 2 surviving Holocaust members living in Ireland, and I had the privilege of hearing Tommy speaking once, and the thing that I always remember was he talked about how normal death became when they were living in the concentration camp, and as children they used to play around the bodies of dead people and really took no notice of them. And I think in a way, to me, it says something about the spirit of humanity and our ability to survive through all kinds of challenges. So today, I really do wish and pray that in your own heart, in your own mind, in your own home, wherever you are, that you will discover that spirit of survival, that you will learn to see the flowers and the lights and the hope that is there, because we can never lose hope. I have a beautiful prayer that I would like to offer you as we begin our assembly. It's a Celtic prayer. You are the peace of all things calm. You are the place to hide from harm. You are the light that shines in dark. You are the heart's eternal spark. You are the door that's open wide. You are the guest who waits inside. You are the stranger at the door. You are the calling of the poor. You are my Lord, and with me still. You are my love. Keep me from ill. You are the light, the truth, the way. You are my Saviour this very day. So now I would like to hand you over to Mr. Tide, and our hymn today is Love Divine. Mr. Tide. A few people in the last number of weeks who have overcome great difficulties and great problems in their own lives. And I often wonder what it is about people that helps them to succeed in spite of the challenges that are in their way. So I'd like to talk about a couple of them, a few of them today. The first is a woman from Kilkenny, Vicky Phelan, and I'm sure all of you know her name. And Vicky has begun her new round of treatment in America, and I know that lots of people are thinking of her and praying for her at this time, and for her family, for her children, and all the people who love her. She has been battling cancer for a long time now, and she just will not give up. She has a young family, and I imagine her love for them, as well as her love for life, keeps her going. So, as we think of Vicky, I also know and realise that some of you have cancer in your lives, that you're dealing with family members and people that you love who are struggling with cancer. So our thoughts and prayers are with you today. I'm thinking of Vicky. She's in America, and she has started this new trial drug for the first time yesterday. It has been a horrible struggle for her since her diagnosis with cervical cancer. But she inspires people all over the world because of her absolute determination. Today, I ask all of you to think of her and to send your prayers and your healing thoughts to her on this part of her journey. It feels like this step is very unsure and yet no less vital. The other person that I want to mention is a mathematician. So all our math teachers and all our mathematicians, our thoughts are with you today. This man's name is John Nash, and he is the man behind the movie A Beautiful Mind. I saw it on TV just a couple of weeks ago, and I always love this movie. Nash struggled with mental illness for most of his life, but his determination, as well as the love and support of his wife, Alicia, helped him to become a Nobel Prize winner for economics in 1994. So, in spite of huge mental health issues, he achieved great things. And again, my thoughts are with any of you who are struggling with mental health at this time. I know that the lockdowns and the ongoing pandemic has been extremely challenging for everybody. But for some people, it has been more difficult. And I really want you to know that there is hope and there is love and there are people around you who love you and believe in you and care for you. So the movie is inspiring. And if you ever get a chance to watch it, please do. It's called A Beautiful Mind. Nash didn't allow his mental health struggles to stop him from achieving greatness. And I know that you too, no matter what your struggles are, can achieve whatever it is you set your heart to. The third person, this is the last one now, the third person that I want to mention is someone I had never heard of before this day last week. Her name is Amanda Gorman, and I'm sure a lot of you know who I'm talking about. She was the young, powerful woman who read her poem, The Hill We Climb, at the inauguration of the American President Joe Biden just last week. I sat in amazement at her eloquence and her confidence. She was born in 1998, a twin, and her mother, Dr. Joan Wicks, is a single parent. So we think of all the single parents who are struggling at the moment, who have great challenges in their lives. Amanda, when she was young, had an auditory processing disorder and a speech impediment. Now, if you heard her and saw her speaking, you would never imagine that. But she didn't allow this to define her. Instead, she trusted her passion and became an activist for feminism and racial equality, and a voice against oppression and marginalization. She discovered, while she was learning how to deal with her challenges, that she had a deep passion for reading and writing. So while she was learning how to cope with her difficulties, she became the woman that she is today. And again, if you get a chance to see her, you really have to look at her reading that poem. She has also let it be known that she will be running for the office of President of the United States of America in 2036, and I have no doubt that she will, and I won't be surprised if she goes all the way. So I look forward to that day, and I pray that she will not be the first woman to achieve this greatness. So this is so inspiring because I don't know anyone who hasn't got challenges in their lives. It's not about the challenges, but the opportunities that open before us. Amanda Gorman has taken her challenges and turned them into something positive. I've seen a lot of comments and a lot of quotes from that poem, but the line that has stayed with me is from the very end of the poem, and I'd like to finish with that line. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. if only we're brave enough to be it.
Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to welcome you once again to our assembly this morning. My thanks to Reverend Alex and to Mr. Tita and to our choral singers for their involvement in our assembly this morning. We're living in days at the moment of things being deferred and having to be put off until other times. And that is an unfortunate reality of our world as we're living in it at the moment. We have seen within the school setting already our need to defer and postpone the holding of our mock examinations, and the date for that being reset for members of 6th and 3rd form to a commencement on the 24th of February after half term. We now are in a situation where we have had to defer and postpone the 4th form work experience programme, which was due to run in the fortnight from the 1st of February until the 12th of February. And we have had to defer that because under the current national lockdown, it's simply not feasible or appropriate for us to expect all members of 4th form to go out on a work experience programme. It's not reasonable or appropriate for us to ask people to go out, nor is it reasonable or appropriate for employers to be expected to follow through on the work experience placement. So we've had to take the decision to defer our 4th form work experience placement until the last 2 weeks of May. And we've done that to give members of 4th form the best opportunity to be able to actually undertake their work experience placements this year. Please goodness, by the middle end of May, we will be in a position where we're all back in school, where schools are fully reopened, and where we're in a position to allow each of our 4th form students to proceed with their work experience placements. So both the deferral of the mock exams for 6th year and 3rd year students and the deferral and postponement of the work experience programme for all of our 4th year students are all examples of the frustration and the challenge of living within the uncertainty that we all have to live with at the moment. And that's a challenge for all of us. And once again, I want to commend and congratulate and thank each and every member of the school community, all of the students and all of my colleagues, for people's understanding, for people's patience, for people's commitment, and for people's willingness to be flexible, to ensure that we can manage in the most appropriate and best way we can the challenges that the world around us provides us with at the moment. And while there are so many things that have to be deferred and postponed, there are things that are continuing. Some of them within a school setting and some of them beyond a school setting. So for members of 6th form, to commend you for your engagement with the CAO 3rd level application process and with the UCAS application process. That is something that is future oriented. It's looking to where you're going to be after you conclude your 6th year in Kilkenny College. And that process continues at the moment, and I want to commend you for your engagement with that, and to thank my colleagues in the guidance department and Ms. Cudahy, your year head, and my other colleagues across the school who are working with you in support of that. And that's an important element of school that is continuing, and school planning that is continuing. And day by day, across each year group, all of you are continuing to engage in remote teaching and learning and pastoral support and development. And while we all recognise the challenges and difficulties that each of us face, it has been wonderful and affirming and reassuring to see the level of participation and engagement that is continuing to happen day by day right across the school community, from people in 1st form through to people in 6th form. It is a challenge, it's not perfect, it's going to have bumps and hollows as the days continue. But we will come through it, and we will get to a point where we're back here in school, running and organised on our normal routine. But today, none of us know for certain when that date is going to be. We hope it's going to be after half term. We understand from the government it will be on a phased basis when it occurs. We wait, as we have to, for clarity and for detailed information to be provided not only to our own school, but to schools and communities across the country. So while we wait, we continue to interact with each other. And that interaction, that ability to see people, if even only across a screen, is so important and so valuable because it retains that sense of us belonging and being part of something beyond the room that we're in or our own home. So I want to continue to wish everybody well, to thank you for all that you're doing, and to remember that while there are so many things that have to be postponed, there are certain things that never change and should not be postponed. And that's what I'd like to conclude with this morning. One of the most important things in everybody's life that never gets postponed is your birthday. And while so many things can't happen, your birthday comes around each year, and it's something that is really important that you have the opportunity to celebrate. So this week, in this time of postponement, we have 14 members of the school community who are celebrating a birthday, either today or in the course of the next week. So I want to wish the very, very best to Lars Solomon, Leona Hughes, Kyle Smith-Carrigan, Alexander Furbank, Tara O'Byrne, Anna Collier, Grace Camplin, Dylan Coyle, Cueva Jolly, Adam Pender, Ruth Burke, Alicia Stanley, Lynn Connery and Sophie Shepherd, each of whom is celebrating their birthday over the course of the next week. So to acknowledge that and to mark that, I'm going to light a candle for everybody who has a birthday in the next week. To recognise that even in a world where lots of things have to be deferred for other times, when it's your birthday, it's the most significant date in each of our lives each year. And it's a time to be with the people who you're closest to be with your family, and to be able to share, to be able to sing, to celebrate, to reflect, to remember, and also to think about the future and to plan for the year ahead of you. So for our 14 birthday celebrants this week, very, very best to you. Happy birthday to each one of you, and best wishes to all as we look to the week ahead. Thank you.